Factsverse presents The Unusual Origins of Common Phrases. There are plenty of common phrases today that most people don't know where they came from. To people in other places who speak other languages, some of these phrases could sound absurd. If you've ever wondered where some of these phrases came from, well, rest assured you're about to find out. Here are some unusual origins of common phrases. It's not over till the fat lady sings. This phrase has been commonly used for the last 100 years, and many people think it originated in reference to the Philadelphia Flyers and Kate Smith. Well, that's not the case. It first reached mainstream ears back in 1976 when NBA coach Dick Motta said, "The opera ain't over till the fat lady sings." Let the cat out of the bag. To let the cat out of the bag means to tell a secret. The phrase originated back in the 1700s. Back then, it was common for tricksters to put street cats in bags and sell them to unsuspecting victims who thought that they were buying pigs. The victims of the ruse wouldn't realize that they had been tricked until the cat jumped out of the bag. Brand spankin' new. Most people think this phrase, brand spankin' new, came from babies being spanked on the butt by the doctor when they were born. Well, that sounds good, but it's not the case. It was first used in 1860, and the original phrase was brand span new. Eventually, the span was changed to spankin'. The upper crust. Some people believe that the upper crust came from medieval times when only the wealthy could afford the upper crust of a loaf of bread. That's not true. The term actually dates back to 1823, and it had to do with a person's hat. Only the wealthiest people could afford fancy hats, which were known as the upper crust. Toe the line. To toe the line means to follow the rules when you're considering breaking the rules. Many people think the reference came from boating or fishing. The phrase became popular in 1813, and the literal meaning is to place your feet on a designated line before a race. Toe the line. It also has a reference to the military when soldiers are encouraged to do their duty. Bated breath. When a person is said to be waiting with bated breath, it means that they can't wait for something to happen. The phrase first appeared in William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice. In the play, he changed the word from abated to just baited, which means reduced or lowered in force. While the word baited has pretty much fallen out of our language use, the term bated breath still remains strong. Kangaroo court. Kangaroo court is a way of saying that something is unfair or unjust. Since kangaroos live in Australia, people think the phrase started there. It actually started in North America, and it referenced an unpredictable or wild trial. Since kangaroos can be unpredictable and wild in America's eyes at least, people used the word kangaroo in the phrase back in 1849. The phrase stuck, and it's still used today. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You may have heard your grandmother using this saying, and some people believe that it's a warning to keep your baby from falling out of the tub. Well, no. The expression was actually made up in 1512 by a satirist named Thomas Murner. The phrase means always to watch your valuables, and since babies are the most valuable thing that parents have, that makes sense. It's all Greek to me. This is a phrase that people use when they don't understand what they're hearing or reading. Many people think William Shakespeare coined the phrase in Bard, but that's not the case. It actually came from a medieval Latin proverb. It means something is illegible. Today, it's still a very popular phrase. In fact, I use the phrase "it's all Greek to me" every time I see math. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Mother Goose has an adorable nursery rhyme that goes, "Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row." But when you hear the nursery rhyme, you think of a woman named Mary working in her garden. Unfortunately, it has a much more disturbing and sinister meaning. Mary I of England was known as Bloody Mary. She was given this gruesome nickname due to her ruthless persecution of Protestants. In the rhyme, silver bells and cockle shells are not types of flowers. They are instruments of torture. Mary was also referenced in Three Blind Mice. The farmer's wife who cut off the mice's tails with a carving knife was also Mary I of England. These nursery rhymes may be popular with young children, but the stories behind them are horrible. Subscribe for more!